Hello, everyone. I might want to turn the game up a little bit. It's quite quiet. Hello, Ghosty. I'm gonna wait for a couple people to trickle in. Huh. Let's see. Hello. So, Katini might not be able to make it, but that's fine, because we all know why I'm really doing this stream, and it's for you, Backspin. And it's fine. Because I got Backspin into the Sherlock Holmes games by Frogwares. These games are fantastic. I genuinely adore them. And none of them work on Mac machines. So, yeah, there's a whole series of these games. They're genuinely fantastic. There are a lot of crossovers with the Frogwares games because they've got some of the earlier ones, Sherlock versus Arsène Lupin, which is a bad game. Don't play it. But it's very fun. There is also Sherlock Holmes versus Sherlock Holmes in the Case of the Awakened, which is Sherlock versus Cthulhu mythos. So that's pretty cool. And then Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper, which is where I got introduced to this series, is through Dodger or Dex Bonus playing that game. It doesn't try to sanitize 1800s England very much, and that's why I like this series, is because they're not shy about making things dark, but they don't go overboard with the darkness. And this is Testament of Sherlock Holmes. This is the first of the new series of Sherlock games where they start revamping some of the graphics and things. This is where they start putting more budget into it. And I just realized, Liam might recognize this, the title music for this game. Yeah, I can... Here, I'll put this here as I'm talking. The title music for this game is the... Yeah, it's the theme from Jack the Ripper. When you finally catch Jack and... Yeah. It's missing the manic laughter from Jack, which is why you don't immediately clock it. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. Oh, grab some rice. Yeah, grab some rice. Let me know when you're back. We'll wait for more people to show up. I'm gonna put this back here. How are you doing, Backspin? How are my levels? You have your Coca-Cola. Game is fine, I'm quiet. How am I now? Am I too loud now? Better? Okay, sounds fine. Hello, Ghosty. So, announcement for those of you who are here, namely Ghosty and Backspin. For a while, this is going to be less of a scheduled series than Bloodstained is, until I finish Bloodstained, and then I'll start doing this regularly. But I'm going to start this because I want to, and I'm bored. So yeah. And Ghosty, I think you're gonna like this game. I think you're gonna like watching me play this game. This is yeah, and if you're familiar with BBC Sherlock, this isn't like that at all. Get that shit out of here. This is extremely faithful to the source material. With the exception of maybe Watson being a bit derpy, but I think that's fine. There is also... They do bring elements from how BBC works. Jeremy Brett. He's no... Well, he's a Jude Law in... Yeah, okay. He's no Jude Law in any of the games, but he gets closest in this game. They made him wacky in Devil's Daughter. You'll see when we get there. But yeah, so I'm going to be playing this, and then I'm going to be playing Crimes and Punishments and Devil's Daughter for the Sherlock Holmes games that I own. And then if I have money to burn, I will get the Awakened remake and the Chapter 1, and I'll play those. For now, I think we've waited long enough. I think it's time for us to get going with the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. forgot about this part. These goblin children.
Ow! Ah! What's this? No.
I forgot about how derpy these kids are. I forgot that these kids existed, honestly. I really wish they hadn't gone in this direction with this game and just told it. Ah, hey, Husko.
Ah. Ooh.
You'll see what's happening here. Basically, yeah, basically these are,
Oh, look! It's
grandkids.
a book!
And I don't know why they decided to be like, oh, hey, let's tell the
Maybe
story
it's a
from the
book about
perspective
pirates with a treasure map.
of the grandkids of the main characters.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know why they decided to do that.
I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle.
These facial expressions are wild.
And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my
Yeah.
life thus far.
No, this game's
It all began
old.
early one morning in 1898 when Sherlock Holmes invited
Has
me
not
to
aged
accompany
well.
him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
I would like to point out that they actually did... Like, this is a step up from the previous Frogwares games.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by
more
now
like
I should be
Marquis.
reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course, in the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants.
Listen, we
They
can
dress
give-
quickly and come running, but the door
I'm
is
not gonna-
locked
I'm not
and there
gonna
is
run
a
to their
strong
defense just
smell
yet.
of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Okay, cool. Meow. Oh, God. Let me crank up the sensitivity a bit here. Yeah, okay. So, I think we can give Sherlock's voice actor a pass for all of this, just because his voice sounds really nice. Everyone else, get out of here. But Sherlock gets a pass. To walk in the desired direction, use... Alright, so here's a question. Do you want me to do first person or third person? Yeah, no, but this is already so much more refined than the older games. Yeah, well, Watson's voice actor's a big old dummy.
Does this game have controller support?
Oh my god, it does! I'm gonna need to turn down the sensitivity for that. Hmm? This is an Alienware. I can handle it. No! Fuck. Alright. How y'all doing? Oh, that's so much better. Alright. Look at the broken showcase and press A. Alright, you guys are all seeing everything just fine? Everything's normal?
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Hang on, I need to check something. The Testament of Sherlock Holmes was released in... ...2012. So this game is 11 years old. Cabinet looks suspicious. Okay. Can I go back here? No. Yeah, this definitely follows in the footsteps of the janky Nancy Drew games. It's part of the charm for this game, I think. Oh, okay.
A mark undoubtedly made by a diamond.
That's gonna take
Someone
a little bit
tried
of
to
getting
cut the
used to.
glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
Also, sorry
All
for
the
the
windows
crunching.
are locked. They've not been forced.
Hmm. Oh, this inventory system is so... Like, this is basically the same thing as the earlier Sherlock games, but it's so much nicer. Some music scores. Oh, hello.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
It is very missed.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
A tiny hand of a alien, I presume. How do I run? Okay. Alright. By pressing left trigger, the precursor to, what's it called?
The chest wasn't open.
This is janky. This is pretty janky.
The fire started here,
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
This is a bit janky. Alright.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over. Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Good question.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Okay.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
Why are you bad at talking? Oh, there's one over here.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
Okay.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room.
That's a reasonable conclusion. Watson chips in the way those raccoon kids talk in Animal Crossing. I've never played Animal Crossing, but I assume that they're useless.
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier. Strange. There aren't any prints. Yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. You're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
No, he's already
Dr.
solved
Watson
the case
was
entirely.
correct when
This
he
is the
mentioned
tutorial.
acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small. Small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt. a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America. The animal had been
Watson's
hidden
just
inside
like,
the room
I
for
don't
several
know.
hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney,
Am I doing
but
on
knocked
water?
over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney
Wait,
by
why?
swinging from the bell
'Cause
pull,
he's
thus
Sherlock
alerting the
freaking
house
Holmes.
servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
Rip King.
The aquarium
Taken
is just
too
beneath
soon.
the chandelier. I
Hi,
understand.
Teeny.
The little monkey
you weren't gonna
had
come.
likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
Oh, yeah. I will admit the model for Sherlock is fantastic in this game. Even if it is a bit dated.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
You got
Mr.
the achievement
Holmes, this
elementary.
brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I
Taken from
recognize
us
it.
too soon.
I've spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
So I do want to point out, mostly to Liam, that the suit that he wears in Testament is one of the suits that you can wear in Crimes and Punishments. It's one of the selectable suits.
This morning's newspaper.
Which is pretty
Holmes,
cool.
have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Oh, I've got to read things. Oh, what button is it? There we go. Yeah, the options from... Oh, I can see my achievements here. Nice. Oh, I gotta get it off the table. Gunshots in the wall. It's fine. It's fine because I'm basically gonna end up reading them out loud.
Read the paper.
Read the paper, Holmes. Oh, okay, I get it. Mantle? Mantle what? Sherlock Holmes at the home of the Marquis of Conyngham. The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, The celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes was invited to the manor of the Marquis of Conyngham to supply his... I'm reading it wrong on purpose. I just want to point out. Oh, no, that's where he puts his old mail. His clients' letters. The Marquis of Conyngham to supply his conclusions following the investigation into the disappearance of the priceless Samoan necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed in the face of the astonishing circumstances surrounding the theft. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, the only person in possession of the key, opened the door, everyone rushed in to extinguish a fire that had started before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished. The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye, and the jewel was recovered. I will not waste my time on the various explanations that you, the player, have just heard as to the disappearance, because I would prefer to draw your attention, dear reader. Shush. I would prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last surprising developments in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystals of argonite that they are made of. The priceless necklace brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Fenton Arwick, the Marquess' grandfather and an eminent explorer, should have been part of her daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I'm going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for a fake by Mr. Sherlock Holmes himself? I am aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question, without any preconceptions, may certainly shock some of you. But the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgment should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes's methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It's funny, because he eluded capture in that game, because I didn't play that game. I didn't finish it. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider a tacit complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of the altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our readers to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friend Dr. John Watson through his stories is a long way from the truth. Yeah, don't worry about having consumed too much Sherlock content. We'll cover a bunch in the games. Whoops. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines. I think, Teeny, I think you will like this Sherlock. He is very proper and also an asshole. I love him. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines, replacing Inspector Lestrade, who is currently convalescent, and an habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. This is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes's good reputation in order to form an objective opinion, and to ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? And if that was the case, Why did he not mention it? And why should he insist on placing it back within the safe himself? Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair? Or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary Samoan necklace? It is up to you. Oh yeah, no, he's a cocaine user, definitely. It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who, in the future, I shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the Usurper. To be continued, O. Farley. I actually love the Frogwares games because they refuse to sanitize this period of time. They don't sugarcoat anything, and especially in Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper, you talk to prostitutes on a regular occasion, and you have to address the fact that, hey, this is what these women do for a living because they don't have any other way of getting income. And it's dark, but it's not hopeless like some depictions of 19th century England are, but it's also not sanitized or sugar-coated like other depictions are. It's like a very happy medium. Sneef, sneef. The ancestry of Prince Woodville recognized. Why is there's so much reading? Yeah. Oh no, the Awakened goes full racist. Just because it deals with like well, you know, the friggin' what's his name? Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. Yes, thank you. How did I forget that dude's name? Anyway, the ancestry of Prince Woodville recognized. The Lords Committee, set up in order to verify Prince Woodville's legitimacy, made its conclusions public last night. Without surprise, the prince's title was confirmed. As rumors suggested, in return of an unfavorable opinion by the committee, the prince would have abandoned any claim to the inheritance of the present royal family, as well as any political activity. The young man, now aged 28, read history and law at Oxford with a diploma in philosophy. He spent most of his childhood in France, where he acquired a considerable knowledge of the culinary arts. For those who might think this is a handicap when integrating into British high society, let me remind you that he is also outstanding on the polo field and plays the bagpipes quite beautifully. Finally, we should add that lately he's become actively involved in charity work and aiding the poor. J.B. Good. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up later. Anyway, because this is a Sherlock Games, I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna have to Google it. I have to. You've made me curious. Fine, just to make you angry, I will look it up right now on stream. Sorry, I'm doing it. Oh yeah, I think I knew that already. I feel like no, I'm not gonna say... I may be an unhinged lunatic, but I'm not that kind of an unhinged lunatic. How little faith do you have in me, Jesus? Is there more of this document? No.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines. The door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the
When
reporter
did-
got hold
when
of the
did Guy
information,
Ritchie's
but it's
Sherlock
true.
movies come out?
About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated
Oh,
before
yeah.
my very eyes,
Okay.
before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes.
2009.
I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
His
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
savagery of Mrs. Hudson's cooking is just
Inspector,
unprecedented.
I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
So yeah, both of those
Indeed.
came out.
They would like you to
before
confirm
this
or
game.
deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge,
What? Why are we going there?
and the Marchioness.
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage.
Fine, give me the damn necklace.
Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector.
Be my guest.
Very well.
I actually want to go. I want to go look around the apartment. 6 cents. I want to look up here. I want to point out, Liam, does that harpoon look familiar to you? Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. Well, specifically, that's the one that gets used on Black Peter in that game.
What do you think, Holmes?
I try not to.
I cannot leave now.
This game did come out before.
What do you think,
Correct.
Holmes?
Where's the... Oh, okay. It's on the table. It's still wet. Why is it still wet? Oh, God. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Oh, hello.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here.
Yeah, the thing is, they already had Crimes and Punishments in the works after they put this one out. And this one was already... They put a bunch of budget into this one. And then they started working on Crimes and Punishments immediately.
This pearl is a different color.
So, like, mad props to the Frogwares people for this.
These 3 pearls are of poor quality. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
You control Dr. Watson. Ah, there we go.
The harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. A horrible murder.
That confirms it.
General practitioner? That won't be of any use to me. Hospitals and dispensaries in London. Female anatomy. I should put this book somewhere else.
Watson. Watson. Control yourself. You're a married man.
And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters.
It's actually never acknowledged that he's married. So... okay, bye-bye. Have sweet dreams, Cartini.
Here is where I write my stories about Holmes's cases. And I've got work to do.
Huh? Yeah, the Sixth Sense is the precursor to detective mode. Fetch the map. Where the hell is the map? Oh, it has a cooldown period. Yeah, detective mode and imagination make a return in The Devil's Daughter. I don't know.
Holmes's homemade analyzer. The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
I don't know how Sherlock is handled in the Awakened remake or Chapter 1. I have to assume imagination is in Chapter 1, but I don't know. Where's the dang map? Did he say it was in here? Sherlock!
Have you found my map of London? Have you found...
I was concerned that when Chapter 1 first came out, that it was going to be like, you know, one of those episodic games that I hate so much. Last of Us, not Last of Us, Walking Dead, or Yeah, I don't know. This game is pretty good, even for they took Crimes and Punishments in a new direction because at that point, BBC Sherlock was starting to air, and they wanted to take some of the good cues from BBC Sherlock. So you have the the word association models and things like that. There's a map thing on the wall. Oh no, it's Sherlock.
I have found your map.
Sherlock. Night night, Husko. Ugh. Yes, knock him dead.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see
what?
the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Holmes, look!
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
And
How
crimes.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
I do love Sherlock's voice actor. The deduction boards are fun. Okay. Alright, cool. It's not quite the same. Yeah, we do get some competent Watson moments in this game.
A broken phial and blood near the neck.
Oh no.
What a strange smell. Phew. Chemical components, I think.
Alright. For just a moment, if you would not mind, I would like to run to the bathroom. So I will be right back. Hello. I've returned. Hello again. I'm checking. Oh wow. I have quite a few viewers. Cube! Okay. What else can we look at?
There is blood on this paperweight.
This investigation system takes a little bit of getting
A
used
broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety.
to. Oh gosh.
A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
Oh dear.
I am missing some...
I know exactly what we're going to
Impossible
end up
to open
doing
it.
here. And I hate it.
Reverend, I'm missing something. An implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No! Go to the devil!
What are you afraid of, Reverend? What is inside the chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the law and no one else.
Oh. Is that the Duolingo sound? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever played Duolingo.
The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
Yeah, played. I think we should refer to all apps with game terminology now.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation.
It's a whip. It's for killing vampires.
This metal rod is for fastening the chilies. It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
Well, that's gruesome, but I suppose not uncommon in this day and age.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson.
Alright, you're being real unhelpful. You know that, buddy. I'm trying to solve crimes here.
A surgical scalpel covered in blood.
Blood.
This door has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here. I cannot leave now. Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Why are
Yes,
you...
if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who was so impatient to call the police.
Literally every Sherlock game previously has...
Size 9.
Oh god, I don't have to measure them anymore. It's so nice to not have to measure them.
Size 9. Size 9. Size 9.5. Size 9.5. Size 9.
Hello.
A fragment of stone. Peculiar. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe.
It's so nice to be able to play this on a controller as opposed
Hobnail
to
boots like those worn by laborers.
play this on a controller.
Well-worn
instead of,
shoes with an odd pattern on the soles.
being forced to mouse and keyboard.
Hobnail boots.
Okay. How many criminals were there?
Perfect. We now know that there were 3 crooks.
Okay. One man joined those who were already in the room. One man left the room wearing different shoes. One man was carried so as not to leave footprints. All men left the room jumping on one leg. I think we can rule this one out. I don't think it's this one. I think it is this
Strange
one.
but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here. Therefore, we have 3 men who came in and left again. But one of them was wearing a different pair of shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So, all we have to do is look for a workman who likes Italian shoes.
Watson. You've lost all of your competent points from tonight with that statement.
This stove is filled to overflowing.
Alright, only one thing left to do. Oh god.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes?
A finger. Apparently it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful.
Oh, I forgot about that.
This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet. These burns are terrible.
Nope. It's 1880. We don't got baggies here.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So,
Okay.
these wounds were not made by his murderers.
So this is the self-flagellation. Let's check out his torso.
His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade. There isn't any doubt the wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
Alright.
You can see by his expression that he suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth.
More?
His forearms have been ripped. Pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable, Holmes.
That's... alright. There's more there? We gotta keep looking at that? Alright. Oh, the rope at the...
A piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man.
Are we done here?
Something
we're
is
done here.
missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing.
I think I was probably supposed to check out the body first. So I had the information if someone took the bishop's shoes and left in the bishop's shoes. Whoops. Okay. Okay. One of the murderers is a member of the clergy. I don't think so. There you go. The broken flask has some blood at its top. I think this is correct. Okay, the victim was savagely tortured. The bishop was mortifying himself. He was used to pain. Resisted torture. The bishop's murderers didn't get what they wanted. See, this deduction board mechanic is actually not that bad, and this is what some of the older games use. Like this is what Jack the Ripper uses as well, and it's not awful. I just wish they'd gone with something like this in Nemesis, so that it wasn't quite so stupid. The murderers were looking for something specific. The murderers are poor.
Perfect. It is evident that the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers were after something specific, and that they did not find it. Reverend, I shall ask you one more time. Open the chest. The item they were seeking must still be inside. It is unlikely that they will let this matter rest. They will most certainly return to finish what they started.
And I'm telling you once more, the chest is locked and shall remain so.
Very well. We have reached an impasse. You are a stubborn man, Reverend. Watson, accompany our friend to the police station and return with Inspector Baines. Baines and no one else. I shall wait for you here. Go. Alone at last. Now I can continue my investigation.
All right.
I need something.
I need something. Let's see, what do I need? Ooh, knife.
I need something.
Nope, can't force the door with the knife. What is this? Metal stick. Sure, I guess I could use that as a lock.
This lock should be easy to pick. Let's see.
Okay.
That's not right.
Ah, okay.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. There isn't anything much in this room. It must be used as a reading or meditation room.
Master Lock strikes again.
This inkwell was tipped over recently. Apparently, someone wanted to hide this statue.
Interesting.
This horse resembles a large chess piece.
Yeah.
There is a message underneath this statue. Let's see.
What a lack of imagination. Use your passion for chess. The last square on which the knight will place himself after having covered all of the others will be the right one. I love you.
This message was written by a woman, but for whom was it intended? Interesting, this chess game.
Ye Master Look.
An ink stain, quite fresh. This stain is just on the edge of the rug. Let's see. There is nothing on the floor, yet the ink must have soaked through the rug.
Very interesting.
An ink stain. The ink stain on the floor comes from the ink on the rug, but they are not in the same place. Someone has moved the rug recently.
Ooh. Hello, Tess. Yeah, the chess puzzles
is curious.
are a little
There
bit
is something
obnoxious.
strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard.
The night one, I've done the night one before. It's not as bad as 9 Queens.
That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard. I need something.
I need something. Yeah, 9 Queens. 9 Queens is hell. Boink. Boink. Fortunately, I'm a puzzle game aficionado, and I have played The Seventh Guest. I think we want to go... Alright, so this is the starting position. This is the obvious. I can't remember if it's here or here. I think it's here, which would then put us here. Yeah, Diabolical Box was the second late.
This last piece should be the good one. It will have to be pulled free.
Nailed it.
I need...
April, 24th of April. My love, what a beautiful spring. What a marvelous day, our dear youngest child's birthday. Every moment is so precious as our child blossoms, and without a doubt he will soon be talking. I am sure that his first words will be for you. He misses you so much. As I do. Are you sure you cannot get away on Sunday after Vespers? I thought that... The 14th of September. My darling, I know that you think I am insistent, but we absolutely must legitimize our union. We cannot... Excuse me. We cannot live in sin all our lives. 3rd of March. Rest assured, my dear, that I understand your position is not easy, but you have thought about it. But have you thought about ours, the children's and mine? And I cannot allow our children's future to be compromised. Think about it, my love. What is a so-called scandal next to the well-being of your family? We must become husband and wife legally to finally form a real family.
A packet of letters addressed to the Reverend. They were written by a woman who mentions his illegitimate children. Their affair isn't official. Perfect. I have you now, my wayward Reverend.
Jesus, Holmes, calm down. Alright, I'll be right back. Because I need to go turn the lights on. I return. This is much cozier. Much cozier atmosphere. Can I have the chest, the knight back? I want to steal that. Okay, no.
Ah, Watson, you were gone a terribly long time, and Inspector Baines isn't with you.
I'm afraid not, Holmes. We were unable to find him.
Dr. Watson would not allow me to contact any inspector other than this Baines. What manners! I am a man of the church.
My dear Reverend, I notice that you are a chess lover. I trust you will excuse me, but I am never able to resist the appeal of a half-finished game.
You are an expert at chess. Very well, then. What do you want now?
As you might have guessed, resolving your small chess problem has allowed me to discover some very interesting letters.
Letters? What do they say?
Reverend, why hide these letters here and run the risk of the bishop finding them?
Holmes, what's in the letters?
Not now, Watson.
Where's he going?
Where else could I have hidden them? My own chambers are too austere. They could offer no cover. I knew, however, that His Excellency, may he rest in peace, would not notice my game.
The contents of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's chest interest me greatly. Give me the elements you hold, Reverend.
Out of the question.
Oh, I would have solved that puzzle immediately. All right, we have a choice to make, a dialogue choice to make with this Reverend. What should I do? I'm gonna let you guys make the dialogue choices that I think matter. Corruption. All right.
With the bishop no more, you are therefore the apostolic director of the diocese, are you not?
Well, yes, but only until someone else is appointed.
I am certain that the Honourable Bishop of York, whom I have the privilege of knowing well enough for him to listen to what I have to say, would recognize your qualities for the post.
If I receive new responsibilities, it will be through my faith and devotion, nothing else.
Oh, I have to do all of them.
I am a gentleman, and it would distress me to be obliged to pass this correspondence across to your superiors.
Holmes, I know that the end justifies the means, but allow me to express some reservations about how you are proceeding.
You say you're a gentleman, but I hear nothing but the words of a blackmailer. The stems that you are looking for are scattered about this room. Manage by yourself.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Let's see. That can't seriously be all of them. No. Of course not. Oh, thanks. Pea souper. Moonshine is brighter than fog, but this is a pea soup. Where are the rest? You serious? Oh, hello. Alright, that'll be 4. Let's see. Oh, I thought I saw something. I did not. Hey, you idea where Holmes is just average intelligence alongside Watson, and they're an aromantic couple who vaults Holmes because Holmes is a socialite and Watson is eccentric, and most of the mysteries get involved with a collective rich cabal that loves seeing how they stumble into the right clues that helps them briefly together achieve genius-level intellect solutions. Eh. I could see it. Personally, I like how these games are very faithful to the books. Jesus. Ghosty, I need you to stop saying that your life is boring. You've experienced things that I don't think that most people I know will ever experience in their life. Oh, hello. Gotcha. Anything else? Nope. Oh, I can...
Evidently, as I always do. What are you able to tell us about the Bishop of Knightsbridge's last days? Did anyone come to visit him? Did he seem worried, anxious? Do not omit the smallest detail.
His nephew came to see him yesterday at His Excellency's request. I found this visit a little peculiar because the young man rarely visits his uncle.
Do you know why that might be? Were they on bad terms?
I don't think so. It's rather a consequence of his work. The young man is employed within the archive section of the Royal Library, which doesn't leave him with a lot of free time.
Do you know the reason for his summons?
No, but the conversation was very heated. It only lasted for a few
Holy
minutes
crap.
and ended with the nephew in a terrible rage.
Interesting.
I've answered your questions. Will you now let me contact the authorities?
I'm afraid not, Reverend. Not just yet. All right, now we can open the safe.
Yeah, Tess, you're not actually that far off from how ghosty is. Alright, time for... Oh. It's 7 queens. Well, this will be easy then. Yeah, Ghosty's Brooke Bourgeois. Although, not that Tess knows who that is. Then the... Oh. Yeah, okay, that's not right. Huh, okay. We've got one more, which has to go... No? Okay. Here. Here. I said this would be easy. Game, stop making a fool out of me. I don't appreciate it. I need to go what? 1, 2, 1. There we go. And now 2 more. Well, I can easily go. Wow. They're queens, idiot. Alright. Ah, shit. Oh, I got it. I don't got it. No, I do got it.
Now I can open the chest.
Peasy.
Here we are. I am eager to discover what remarkable treasure could justify such an act of barbarity.
Extraordinary.
This chest is impenetrable. How is it possible? No one other than the bishop should be able to open it.
You open the chest with disconcerting ease, Holmes.
I've seen and heard quite enough. This time you won't stop me.
Catch him, Watson.
What the? But why?
Run, Watson. Hurry.
Holmes, you're acting real sus right now, bud.
He's escaped. I hope that your motivations are founded, Holmes. I don't much like skirting around the edges of the law like this.
It is annoying. Let's leave without delay.
What have you found in the chest, Holmes? What in there is so precious for these men to commit such terrible acts?
The Reverend was telling the truth. Nothing important was locked inside the chest, apart from a few religious items which are hardly worth stealing.
So,
Sorry?
we haven't made any headway. Perhaps the police will.
By the time the police arrive, we shall be a long way from here, Watson. We are leaving.
Oh yeah, Sherlock is lying
What
through
should we
his
do
teeth.
next?
Let us return.
Huh?
We have crossed London at a breakneck speed. We could have knocked someone over, and naturally I had to pay the cabbie out of my own pocket.
Watson, stop complaining. We have to analyze the clues found at the bishop's house.
Daily report. Oh, you didn't see the earlier stuff. Someone accused him of forging and stealing a necklace that was from the earlier in the game. At the moment of writing these lines, the famous Samoan necklace belonging to the Marquis of Conyngham has still not been recovered. Our editorial staff remain reserved as to the role that famous Detective Sherlock Holmes has played in the affair. For this is not the first time that Sherlock Holmes has compromised himself during the... hang on, 1 second. During the course of one of his so-called investigations. When recalling the second stain case, the affair is indeed strangely similar to the Marquis of Cunningham's misfortune. Indeed, Mr. Trelawney Hope, Secretary of State for European Affairs, has a document of extreme value in his safe box, which had been stolen but a few days earlier. Who, if not Sherlock Holmes, could have replaced the document in Mr. Hope's safe? What was the point of the trick? It was evident that Sherlock Holmes knew the identity of the person blackmailing the gentleman's wife, Lady Hilda Trelawney Hope, guilty of a love affair with another man. The sinister blackmailer, a certain Lucas, had a letter that revealed Lady Trelawney Hope's double life. He wanted the Secretary of State's wife to give him the precious document belonging to her husband in exchange for the love letter. She obeyed him. But then Lucas was found murdered. Holmes was managed to find the compromising letter without any difficulty on the crime scene after it had been meticulously searched by the police. Does that not strike you as strange? Mr. Holmes knew where the hiding place was without any doubt. As to the motive for the murder, no need to ask who might profit from the crime, eradicate a cumbersome accomplice, and thus appear as a hero in the eyes of the authorities. Evidently, the transcription of the affair undertaken by Mr. Holmes's friend, Dr. Watson, gives another explanation entirely. But is he truly objective? We may allow ourselves a little doubt on that score.
Nothing interesting.
What a dick. I hate this guy. Oh, he is. I guarantee that they drew from Triple J. There it is. Excuse me. All right. Bring me Daguerreotype. I don't know what that means. Excuse me. Alright, analyze the clues. God, that's gruesome.
Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. No, I can't. Tooth marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine.
Gross. Okay.
I haven't finished my... No, I can't do that.
Just melt it down. Brush.
No, I can't do that.
Oh, I can't grab that.
No, I can't.
Brush,
No,
brush.
Tooth marks. Fragments of skin. A phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off. It was ripped off.
Can I grab
I can
the
see
dirt?
something. No, I can't.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery. There is something written on this scalpel. I should clean it.
Water.
I can't do...
But
I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel
Werewolves in
come from a
London.
hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
no, shockingly, I can tell you that it's not werewolves because, shockingly, the only supernatural yep. Werewolves of London is in fact a Sweet Home Alabama.
This fragment of
clone.
stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it with one of my products.
Anyway, the only version, the only one of these games that actually deals with the supernatural explicitly is The Awakened, which is Sherlock Holmes versus Lovecraft lore for Tess, because I've already told the other two.
I can't do that. This stone is granite, covered in black paint.
Okay.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
Yeah, fair. I think Lauren Zevon did come after Sweet Home Alabama, though.
A lot of
I'm not
fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but these small stones resemble the pieces found in the footprints at the bishop's house. Granite, painted black.
Huh.
I can't do that. I can't. I can't. I can't
Melt
do
the
that.
rope. Okay.
Black and damp.
There we go.
I can see something. This rope. I must compare the samples of earth that I found. I must compare the samples of earth that... And if I mixed this earth with another substance...
Acid!
I can't do that. Now it must all be stirred. I can't do that. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are a dozen miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it.
Where am I headed? Oh.
Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good.
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
Ah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely not this, because who manufactures a rope with a worn side? I don't think it's this, because I think it would show different sides of wear. This makes the most sense to me. Damp earth. soil is from a pit, the soil is from a well, the soil is from a riverbank. Fragment of granite. Comes from a monument painted black. Comes from a painted rock. A granite wall painted black. I don't know. Rope is used for tying up boats. Rope is used to lower something into a pit. Monument, maybe? The earth and stone are from a pit near a monument. Tombstone factory, no. The Whitechapel Clinic is near.
Now I can make the right decision.
Okay.
I haven't finished my...
What do I need to do? Ah. Your memorial. This one.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
Putting those away. Okay. Water is a good idea. Everyone who's watching that doesn't have water, drink some water. Okay. Can I make any more deductions here? No. Drink your water. What am I doing? What am I doing, Watson?
We must analyze all...
Ah.
I can analyze the
Chemical composition of rock.
I can analyze... No.
Ooh, the bottle. Okay, this one's fun. Well, trying to say analyst liquid has to use all active agents to work out all of its characteristics. Okay.
I must analyze the...
How do I
must I haven't finished my...
How do I use the thing?
I must...
Okay. Okay. One. And 2 greens. Okay. Three browns and two grays. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't need to do that. But alright. We're on green. Two browns and three grays. Stop. No! I need to stop doing that. A blue and two greens. There we go. Three browns and three greens.
Poison, and apparently very virulent.
Very virulent. A substance that provokes heightened aggression, close to madness, death by cardiac arrest.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
Well, Watson, at least you're useful for something. No, that's not fair. Poisoners of the last 30 years. That's not over here, is it?
And this is... female...
Nope.
General practitioner.
It's not in this room, is it? No, of course not, because that's Watson's room. Nope. Ah, here it is. Hans Schielmann, aka the Rat Killer, of German nationality, January 20th, 1839 in Stuttgart. Excuse me. Arrested 5/5 in 1888 in London. Sentence is for life. Okay.
According to these documents, Hans Schielmann, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Schielmann tomorrow.
All right. Can I do disguises in this game? No, the wardrobe isn't here. Oh, hey, that's my, that's the Jack the Ripper dummy. Can I do... I don't have the opportunity to move. What more analysis do I need to do? No, nothing here.
let us look at our...
deduction board. Okay. Ah. The bishop tore his aggressor's finger off with his teeth. The bishop wanted to kill himself. No. The bishop went mad. Wrong game. Alright, the murderers made Bishop drink the contents of broken flesh. Vampires! No, it's that one. No? Ah, there we go.
Perfect. Well done, Watson. Our board is finished. It confirms that the bishop's murderers work for one person, who, amongst other things, possesses a very sophisticated poison. They therefore act for someone more educated than themselves. You remember Wiggins and his gang, the Baker Street Irregulars?
Yes, the street urchins, whom you employ upon occasion, and Wiggins is their leader.
Yes. Well, I have hired their services
Wiggins!
again. I have instructed them to find out the address of the bishop's nephew.
I think he's here.
Backspin, get ready. It's Wiggins time.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, my young friend, have you found the information for which the good Dr. Watson is going to pay you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, it was easy.
Very
Wiggins
well,
is
I
not
understand.
A
Here are a
goblin
few
child
pennies.
in this game.
Thanks, Dr. Watson. The man you're looking for lives near Kensington.
Does he live alone?
Yes, but he rents a room for an old lady.
Did she see you?
No, Mr. Holmes, no one saw me.
Perfect. Watson, give our young friend another shilling as a reward for his discretion.
Here we go again. But of course,
He's not a goblin child in this game, so I'll take it.
I'm falling asleep, Holmes. Aren't you tired?
No, I have an exceptional constitution. I can't remember ever having been fatigued by work. Idleness, on the other hand, exhausts me completely. Go to bed, Watson. The night will be short. We leave at dawn.
He does.
Wow, this is a real adventure. It's exciting. I
forgot
like
about
it
these
better than
kids.
made-up stories. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading. I'm going to.
Ah, I want to listen to.
My readers must excuse me if I do not describe in full detail here the terrible images which haunted me that night.
I had a sense that something
These goblin
extraordinary
children.
would take place.
Why?
But I was scarcely prepared for the reality of it. Good morning, Holmes. Did you get any rest?
I did not attempt to sleep.
Have you managed to come to any conclusions?
I think that we might follow 3 trails. We can visit Whitechapel to try to discover the identity of the murderers by making inquiries at Dispensary 4661 and at the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
The poison trail seems more important to me. We should perhaps go to Westgate Prison first
Yeah.
to see Hans Schielman.
Yes, and let us not forget the bishop's irascible nephew, whose address we now have, thanks to my Baker Street irregulars. I have located each place on our map of London.
Holmes, let me remind you that we still have not been officially instructed to investigate this affair.
Ah, well, we will just have to hide that small detail.
Watson, we dealt with this in the Ripper case. We dealt with this in the Awakened case. We dealt with this in the Arsene Lupin case. We'll be fine. So, where shall I go first? I'm leaving it up to you guys. honestly, the thing about Wiggins in this game is that they actually updated his voice acting and made him look unique. Like, they gave him his own character model, which is a massive step above the Ripper and R.C. Lupin. He's not in Awakened. Well, it seems like people are gone quiet. And I was planning on getting to the next place and then shutting down the stream. Because it's already quite late. But I might actually just go ahead and save right now, and we'll bring this back. Well, whenever I bring this back. Uh-oh. No, hold on. Okay, cool. P super. Moonshiner is a brighter thing. Moonshine is a brighter thing than fog, but this is a P super. You asked for help a great deal. Okay. Yes, that was a very worrying moment. The game crashed when I saved it, so I wasn't sure if it would actually bring me back to that point in time. But it did, so it's fine. So, without further ado, good night, everybody.